Today's date is September 15th, 2022. Everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and you reach I Ministries. I Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. The Bible. Pospai manishma. Now, this is the deal. This is part 3 of our study in John chapter 20, verse 28, and we're looking at the famous quotation or statement or address given to Jesus by Thomas, right? So, this is the deal. We're looking at that. The great statement that Thomas said to Jesus. Now, let's look at the verses that we were looking at, verse 27, 28, and 29. And this is going to be really verses 28 and 29. We finished basically with the full Greek construction, no pun intended, because there's a lot of basic Greek here. But the statements are packed with theology. Let's start at verse 27. And I hope my baby Anna Devane doesn't interrupt, because, Sean Donnelly was actually taken by his mother to go to his grandfather and grandmother's house. So, I'm left with one baby here. This is from the NASB, quote. Then he said to Thomas, reach, that's fere, we actually looked at that, fere, that's in the imperative. Reach or bring here with your finger, and see my hands, and reach here your hand. Sorry about that, guys. And reach here your, I'm sorry about that, guys. And reach here your hand, and put it into my side. And do not be unbelieving, but believing. And we saw the alpha primitive there, that alpha that negates the word, Okay? I hope I can concentrate, guys, because my baby is whining and complaining. It's very, very difficult. These things are difficult anyway. So you have a baby, like just a couple of feet from you. Just verse 27 says over here, Thomas answered, Thomas answered and said, okay, to him, my Lord and my God. Hakurias mu kai hatheas mu. Now, Jesus said to him, verse 29, because you have seen me, have you believed? Blessed are they who did not see and yet believe. Okay? And yet believe. And that's not, part of the verse. I was complaining about that last time. Why it says over here, why this gospel? That's not part of the verse. They should have wrote that like in miniature letters. Or put it, like underline it or something like that, or put it directly in the middle, like you write something on a letter, So that's just the deal. Now, this is verse 28 is one of those verses that prove, okay, there's a Greek P and Ro, that prove the full deity. Okay, we're talking about nature 1 or nature A, the full deity of Christ. Now, we're always complaining about Thomas, right? That doubting Thomas and this and that. But he supplied to us, okay, one of the 12, around 12 anyway, one of the 12 clear statements that Jesus is God. Clear. Now, there's other statements, ego eimi, right? You understand what I'm saying? The Hebrew ech, found and recorded in the 1817 and 1880 Hebrew New Testaments. Of the Hebrew New Testaments, according to John chapter 8, verse 58. That's a lot of other verses that indicate that Jesus is God. All the titles found and recorded in verse 8, it's talking about Jesus. Jesus is speaking right there. Okay, Alpha and Omega. So you look at verse 12 and 13 and 20 of that chapter 22 of Revelation. And you see the one that's coming is Jesus in verse 20. Even so, come Lord Jesus. This is very clear. The Alpha and Omega is Jesus. He's the one that's coming. So he's Alpha and Omega. You understand what I'm saying? And So you have a lot of other verses that indicate to us, Jehovah sending Jehovah. Zechariah chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. The Lord said unto my Lord, Na'ah said, let us make. Okay, that's the Hebrew for let us make. Poieso with an omega, poieso men. Found and recorded in the Greek Septuagint, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Right? Meme menu. And that's found, man has become like one of us. Nu means us in Hebrew. Lanu also found and recorded in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. So, I mean, this is not talking about the Trinity. This is talking about the deity, strictly about the deity of Christ. Cristo. You understand what I mean? It's talking about him. That's what it's talking about. Now, we saw that he wasn't spooked, like somebody at the tower said when he was witnessing to somebody so sexy and sassy. He was saying, "Oh yeah, I know what happened," and this was said by Walter Martin so long ago. "Oh, I know what happened." Not that Walter Martin said it. I mean, he was reporting what happened between witnesses and evangelicals. That the witness said, "Oh, I know what went on." Thomas said, "Oh my Lord, oh my God," like that. Like he was spooked. No, but it says it's a direct address. He said to him, although in a dative case, okay, dative singular masculine construction. You understand what I'm saying? Now let's get to the grace statement. Now this is according to the Byzantine text form. I have apps here that are according to the most ancient authorities, but it's basically the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. So that's just it. We also saw, okay, let me see. Let me go over here because I'll get to 20 more, which is chapter Kappa. Kappa is 20. All right, so the scroll like this. Okay, and this is verse 30. All right, and that's verse 28. And so we're gonna go to verse 28. And 29 today. Now we already saw, the imperatives. The imperatives found and recorded. So let me just go there just to refresh your mind. Jesus commanded Thomas to place his finger. Okay, one finger. What's this over here, huh? I hope it kept it. Now this is chapter 21, Kappa Alpha. Let me freeze it right here. Okay, let me just freeze it right here and I'll save the settings. So if something happens during the study, it'll save at least a position probably, right? Let me just save it right here, guys. Sorry about that right here. By the way, I'm not going to be giving any sermons or any full Greek instructions. Okay, that's the difference between a sermon and the full Greek thing that I'm doing. There's a complete difference. But I'm not going to give any more until probably next year, 2023. It's September now, September 15th. Until I'm finished, titling messages, tagging them, and thumbnailing them, and things like that. So I mean, that's going to take several months. I don't know. It's going to take me 2, 3, or 4 months, so I'll let you know. So if I disappear for a while, don't worry about me. I'm fine, God willing, and just pray for me during my absence. Now, so let's look at 27 because it has the imperatives there, the commands. It says over here, it says ita lege, it says to. Toma, that's in the dative, to Toma. He was speaking to Thomas. It's in a dative case. To Toma. Toma, okay? Fere. Okay? Let me say something about pronunciation because I was hearing this wonderful, I'm not going to mention his name, this wonderful, first of all, this wonderful person in the Lord. I mean, he's impeccable. He's wonderful. He's a person that's just down to earth and just a wonderful human being, and a person that supplied to me indirectly a lot of my Greek knowledge. Okay, a lot of the Greek knowledge that I have, and there has been other ones that has supplied me indirectly. Greek, Dana, Manti. Because I'm a great champion of that manual, even though some things have to be revised. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So, And then, A.T. Robinson, taught Manti. So, I mean, these people have been a great help to my life. So that's why I'm not going to even mention his name. I don't want to come down on her hard on. I don't want to seem that I'm coming. I don't want you to think that I'm coming down on him or anything like that. But he said that, well, if you get up in church and you pronounce the Greek in a way that nobody can pronounce it, they're not going to understand it. They're not going to understand you. First of all, we have to be flexible. We have to be flexible in order. I mean, if somebody says Elohim or Elohim, we're going to know what it is. Okay? We're going to know what it is. If somebody says Hashamayim or Hashamayim, we're supposed to be flexible enough to know. Or Echad, somebody could say Echad or some form of a little bit different than that. We have to know what it is. So we have to be flexible enough to because no one speaks English the same in the United States. I mean, there's a whole bunch of places in New York they'll speak different. They'll speak a different way in New York, English, than definitely that of England, but different from Texas, and we still understand them. So there's no really an excuse for that. Okay, my Greek pronunciation might be different, and when I was younger in Greek, when I was beginning, or when I was already several years in it, my Greek pronunciation wasn't polished. So I said anama, said I said I'm sorry, anama, I said anama. But if you really know your stuff, right, then you're gonna say, well, there's only like one, anama. So if somebody says anama or something like that, you have to be flexible enough to know, what people are talking about. If somebody says a ki or kai or ke, or ke or kai, well, your Greek's supposed to be flexible enough to understand that somebody is said either, also, yet, both, even, and whatever the case may be. If somebody says theos, or and they forget how to place how to place the accent correctly. Somebody could say theos or theos or whatever the case may be, because maybe they forgot where the acute marker is, or maybe there's a grave marker. Like this, there's exists of both situations in John 1:1, right? Theos is different from theos. If somebody could say theos, or somebody could say theo, okay, or theos. It's still. I mean, people should know. If somebody says arche, or somebody says arche, everybody's supposed to already know what that means. Okay? Arche. There's only one word that sounds like that, small like that. Okay? Arche, archi, huh? Arche, because maybe somebody won't pronounce it correctly. The chi, they'll say like that. That's just it's lazy, I understand, but still. So if somebody says soma or soma, I mean everybody, these excuses, I hate excuses though. These excuses, well, pronounce it correctly. First of all, we're not pronouncing it correctly anyway, like the Greeks anyway. Okay? So if there was a Greek audience, and let's say we were doing it correctly, like people want us to do, like a really, really just American style pronunciation of Greek. And then you have Greeks, really true Greeks, people that were born in Greece, or they were raised up in Greece, or whatever the case may be. Okay? Or maybe they became a Greek in the United States. Okay? Well, they're not going to understand us. They're not going to understand us, because they think that they pronounce it perfectly. We use a different style of pronunciation that's not modern. So we don't use, the Greeks don't use enarche in halagas, kai halagas in prostantean, kai theas in halagas. They use enarchi ino logos, ke o logos in prostanteon, ke theos ino logos. That's what they use. Okay? So, I mean, we should know our Greek to such a degree that we will be flexible enough to understand. Okay? To understand the other person. We just have to be flexible and understand that that people can make mistakes, or people could just speak differently because they have accents anyway. They have accents, so they speak differently. They might be Spanish, they might be Portuguese, they might be Italian. They might be, and Italian would be great for pronouncing modern Greek. You understand what I mean? So I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. Well, you have to pronounce it, the way you're supposed to pronounce it, because people are not going to understand you. That could be the case in some things, but I don't see that as a broad thing, because if first of all, you're not gonna speak an entire chapter in Greek in church anyway, because you got people that don't understand. That you're gonna be like a loud sounding cymbal. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just like speaking tongues in front of everybody. It's not gonna edify nobody that doesn't understand the Greek. Okay, so you're gonna have to. I don't espouse to that philosophy that you have to speak it in such a way that everybody is going to understand it, or I don't, because everybody speaks differently. Everybody might be from a different background, and so my pronunciation of Greek, since I'm Spanish, is going to be different than yours, and not everybody can, if they're reciting it, not everybody is going to be able to look at the diacritics in their mind, or the accent markers in their mind, and unless they're speaking about something they already know, like John 1:1 and John 17:3, or and things like that. Some things that are very, very, very famous, and it's already in the mind already. So I really don't like that, not approach, but I don't like that philosophy that, well, you have to speak it, in such a way that everybody's going to understand you, because then they're not going to understand. You're going to go to one seminary, they're not going to understand you there. You're going to go to, well, that's the problem. There's a problem with the seminary. There's a problem with the students themselves, or the people themselves, that they're not flexible enough to understand what you're saying, unless you're speaking it in such an awful way, okay, that you can't even be, you're not even understood. I mean, nothing that's coming out of your mouth is being understood at all, because it's just so bad. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, if you're close to the word, that still should be enough, okay, to be understood by somebody. So it's up to really the church not only to speak it well, but to understand, to listen. And that's a hi, hon. Hi, and that's I think there was a book in college that I heard, and I forgot the title of it. It's like 7 Secrets of Successful Living. I think that everybody should read chapter 4, because chapter 4 is incredible. Chapter 4 teaches you how to listen to people, how to actually listen to people, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people are taught to speak and to talk and to write, but a lot of people are not taught, either in school or by their families or whatever the case may be, how to listen, how to decode person's speech. That's an art that's never taught in school, how to listen. I was never taught how to listen. I learned myself how to listen, how to decode the person's words that are expressions of the mind. So I think that's lazy. I think that everybody should be flexible. Oh, the coffee smells good, hon, but I already had my love. But I have coffee over here also. I have coffee there. So I think I'm smelling my own coffee. So anyway, I just don't agree with that, and I spent a lot of time on it, so let's get going on something else, okay? I think that everybody should be flexible enough to listen to different ways of saying the same thing, because the Greek from America is criticized anyway by the Greeks. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that the Greek that the seminaries teach, is basically probably wrong. Even, teachers say this. Well, this is probably not correct. But, well, if it's not correct, well then, probably the people in church know the correct way. And if you're talking about Greek that's not the correct way, and so that could be confusing also. So why not just make it like the Greeks pronounce the stuff, but then the other danger in that is that you're going to have things that are accusative singular sounding like genitive plurals, like theon to theon, which is not found in the Greek New Testament anyway, theon, but still. You're going to have demonstrative pronouns sounding like adverbs. Like instead of hutas, you're going to have hutos, and that sounds like an adverb. So, I mean, that's a danger to that anyway also. So I guess just be consistent, but if there's somebody comes into the church that you don't know, well, your Greek has to be flexible enough. Your Greek has to be flexible enough to reach in, to look at the context of yourself anyway. So if you're listening, you're following along anyway in your Greek New Testament. So what if somebody says something a little bit differently? You're supposed to be following along. When somebody's reading or reciting the Bible, you're supposed to be following along anyway. And if you can't follow along, well, then the person doesn't know Greek anyway. So it doesn't really make a difference. All right. Goodness gracious, that's hot, huh? My goodness gracious. She makes some hot coffee. She's just like my mother. But anyway, so that's just the deal. So let's look at some imperatives over here. It says ita lege, okay. Ita lege toma. It says over here fere. Fere. You see, I put an Italian accent to these things, or a Greek accent to these things. So my Greek is going to sound differently than somebody else's Greek, because that's the way they speak. But I blend the way it's said, and I always, say to somebody, well, erarchino logos is different than erarchino logos and why, so I don't blend the two. Fere. Okay, fere. That means, okay, bring. Okay, Jesus said bring. Fere is an imperative mood. This is a command. Jesus is commanding Thomas to bring the finger. Okay, fere tan dactylan. Okay, dactylan. Dactylan. Okay, dactylan. Tan dactylan. Finger. Christ wants Thomas to bring one finger, his finger, su, that's your, or that's the second person, su, soy, say, saying, hold it, and see, that's in the imperative, as a matter of fact. It's a command. Jesus is commanding Thomas to do several things. Bring, fere, see, hold it, kai, or actually, ide is actually see over here, ide, and then another gospel says idete, and this is ide, okay. And then tas cheras, okay, the hands, okay, mu, and he's talking about his hands, okay. And then kai, fere, again, bring or reach, okay, tain chera, okay, and he wants him to bring his hand now, one hand, su, of you, right, and put or cast, okay, kai, bale, that's in the imperative, okay, bale, okay, into, and that's a Greek preposition that's taking the accusative case construction from the tain ta side of the paradigm, right? Taking the accusative tain, okay, pluran side of me, mu, and not, it says over here, me, okay, gino, it says over here, and b, it says over here, I'm using a magnifying glass, guys, apistas, okay, unbelieving, that alpha primitive is negating that word, alpha primitive there, but aula, okay, alpha, lambda, alpha with a graph marker, but be believing, okay, pistas, Pi, iota, sigma, tau, omicron, sigma. Okay, so what does Thomas say to Jesus? Well, Thomas calls Jesus, he says, Hakurias mu kai hatheas mu, the Lord of me and the God of me. That's what Thomas said. Thomas said to Jesus, my Lord and my God. My Lord, my Lord. Yep, my Lord and my God. It says over here, though. My Lord and my God. That's what Thomas said. You made coffee for yourself, huh? Yes. Lege, it says over here. Says que auto to him. See, auto is in the dative singular masculine construction. It says auto ha Jesus. So he was speaking to Jesus. And my wife is going to let the coffee get cold, and then she's not going to want it. Right, Alvelo? Huh? You're not going to drink the coffee because it's going to be cold, right? Soon, right? Lege autoha Jesus. Okay. Oh, actually, Jesus is saying something to Thomas, okay, in verse 29. Lege auto ha Jesus. Now, I was meaning to say that Thomas says something. See, it's the same construction found and recorded in verse 28. That's what I was trying to say, guys. You see, Jesus saying something to Thomas. It also says over here in verse 29, lege auto ha Jesus. Says to him, Jesus. Okay? The same thing is found and recorded, meaning the same sort of constructions found and recorded over here in verse 28 for Thomas saying something to Jesus. Kai apekrite, okay, Thomas. Okay? Kai apen auto. That's the construction I'm talking about. Auto. And that's in the dative masculine singular construction. Okay. Hakurias mu, hatheas mu. The Lord of me and the God of me. And we saw that. Thanks for the eggs, hon. That's the eggs right there. Oh, she made me some breakfast. So this quotation is, if it's a quotation, is found in the Greek Septuagint in verse 35, around verse 20, Psalm 35 verse 23, but the order is reversed. It says, ha theas mu kai hakurias mu. So it says over there, the God of me and the Lord of me. Over here, Thomas says, the Lord of me and the God of me. Okay? All right, you understand what I'm saying? Probably reversing the order if it's a quotation, I'm saying, because you have to have a relationship with Jesus, redemptive speaking wise, right? And in order for him to be his God. Okay? So that's why probably the order is reversed. Just like, David wrote, the Lord said to my Lord. So one is just mentioned being the Lord, and the other one's mentioned to be as my Lord, because, okay, the second person of the Trinity, Jesus, okay, he provided salvation for David, okay, or he would anyway in the future. You understand what I'm saying? Dying for his sins. The Father didn't die for our sins. Jesus died for our sins, okay? The Father took the payment of his very blood as a ransom price. And that's why he says, my Lord, right there. The Lord said to my Lord, because he has a salvific relationship with who we now know as the Son. You understand what I mean? So that's just a deal. Now, verse 29 says over here, okay, lege. It says over here, it says, lege auto, yes, ha Jesus. Says to him, Jesus. Or Jesus said to him. That's how you translate it in English. Jesus said to him, okay, because you have seen. This is in the perfect tense. Okay, you have seen. Because you have seen me, okay, believest? It says over here. Because you have seen. Have seen is the Greek word he orakas. Okay? Spelled out epsilon with the rub breathing, and then omega with the cube marker. and then ro. And even in Filipino, right? And my wife is from the Philippines. She puts the emphasis on, like on a word in the beginning or the end of the word. So how you say karong, honey? Do you say karong or karong?
Now.
Now, yeah, but how you say it? How you say it? Karong?
Karon.
Karon. So you say karon or karon. So karong, right?
Only in karon.
And let me see how you say maayon buntag. Good morning. How you say you say buntag or buntag?
Maayo buntag.
Buntag. See, so she stresses the word good morning in the beginning of the word. You see, so that's just the deal. We were talking about that earlier. Okay, it's that. All right. English-speaking people like myself are very tolerant when it comes to our language. I mean, some people could come from Puerto Rico and speak it in a very bad way. I was just hearing the New York Yankees. What's his name? Oswald Pereira or something like that. Pereira or whatever his name is, right? And then he was speaking very bad English. But I understand. I can understand. I throw the ball and he already threw the ball. It's not I throw the ball, I threw the ball. But that's just the deal. I guess it's just from being in New York that you're tolerant and you're used to the English of a lot of people, and then you still can understand it though. You still can understand it. So that's what I'm saying. There's no excuse for people to not understand other people's Greek. It's just no excuse. Lege auto ha Jesus hati, because my love. Oh, drink. Okay, that's good. Thank you, honey, my love. I could do with extra coffee. Hati, because he o rakas. You gonna take the baby soon, hon?
Yeah.
Now? Can you just wait until I help you?
Okay.
You could come back in a little while, like that. Go to your mother's house and come back. I'll be finished in a couple of minutes, like 20 minutes, okay, hon? He o rakas. Okay, have seen. That's in the perfect tense. You see the kappa there in the alpha, pointing out the perfect tense, and probably vocalic of reduplication over ha. He o rakas. He o rakas. Epsilon omega rho. Alpha kappa alpha final sigma. Because you have seen me, the direct object. Me, me, and that's an accusative case, no gender in these first person personal pronouns, ego, mu, moi, me. The number and case are present. You have believed, okay, pepistukas, pepistukas, and that's in the perfect tense. That's a wonderful reduplication there. The P reduplicated into another P. It happens in Hebrew also, but you don't see it in Hebrew. You just see a dot in the middle, okay? Like in your Bible, you see a dot in the middle of the word for heaven. And the dot, that's a doubling dagesh, and it's doubling the sheen there. It's just like in the word mim, men, nun. Mim, men, nu. Okay, I cheat and say mim, men, nu. And so you see the doubling dagesh there in an M and a nu, but you don't see the reduplication unless you see a transliteration of it. But you do see it reduplicating in a word like this that begins with a consonant. Okay, so it begins with a consonant. Okay, like this, it's gonna reduplicate into another P exactly. Okay. And there's an epsilon connecting vowel in the middle of the two letters there, the two P's. Okay? And you see the kappa there anyway, also highlighting the perfect tense as well. So, pepistukas. Pepistukas. Having believed, okay, having believed, it says, blessed maka rioi. Makarioi. And the R is very lazy for the Greeks, okay? R like that, that's very lazy. Hrr. They like that hrr sound. Makarioi. Okay? The R. So, mu alpha kappa, alpha with the cube marker, rho, iota, omicron, nowadays called omicron, iota. Hello, Godfrey. I'm doing a Bible study, sweetheart. Make your own, my love. This is mine. Make your own. Here, get the coffee from. Huh? Yo, go ahead, make it. I'm doing a Bible study, Godfrey. Okay. Makarioi. Okay. Oh, you wanna? What you wanna? Okay, fine. Okay, blessed are blessed, and that's an adjective. That's a nominative ending there. Okay, maku. He kisses me. Okay, I love you too. And let me give you a kiss too. Here, come over here. Okay. Now get out. Oh my goodness. Makarioi. Okay, blessed. Okay, R is not here. Okay. Are those. Okay. That's hoi there, and that's acting like a pronoun. Okay. Those. It's like almost like a kanoi, right? Those. Not, and that's may, and that's outside of the indicative. Okay, because there's a idantes. Idantes. This is a participle having not. Okay, having not seen. Okay, may over here not. Lo in Hebrew. Idantes, and that's iota, delta, omicron, nu, nowadays called ni, tau, nowadays called tough, and epsilon, final sigma. I'll say nowadays is a lazy way of saying a modern Greek. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? You have the the noun ending epsilon sigma and the nominative plural, and then the nu and the tau being the participial morpheme. That's a nice sign for the participle. Nu and the tau together like that. Okay? Not all the time you see words like huparchon and things like that, and labon. So you don't see the nu and the tau in those sort of words. Idantes. There's a verb form here and a noun form. Okay, so I mean that's just the deal. And believed, or actually, it's a participle also. Okay. Says over here, pistu santes. Okay, pistu santes, and so this is in the aorist. Okay, you see the aorist sigma here, and this is a participle also, the nu and the tau, and that's just the deal. Okay, and believed, kai believed, and that's a continuous thing. And it's only not like they believe and they stop believing. They continuously believe. You understand what I mean? Well, anyway, so that's just the deal. So let's get to the NIV. All right, it's a nice breeze coming in. That's very rare in the Philippines. Okay, it's a nice breeze coming through the window slot. We don't have a window yet in that part of the house. We set up a store there, so there's a screen there with a little tiny door thing that you open up to receive the money from people and stuff like that. But we didn't even use it when the store was open, you know. So that's just it. So let's go to chapter 20 and go to verse 28 there. So let's check this out. It says over here, Thomas said to him, although, my Lord and my God. Incidentally, the NIV has Jesus being God 12 times. To the NASB's 11 times. It's still great, the NASB. But the King James only have Jesus being God, okay, in those particular verses and chapters. Only around 7 or 8 times. Okay? All right, I never passed with a 66% in school. I never passed, guys. Did you pass? It says over here, then Jesus, okay, told him, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen. Greek word may for not, and yet, okay, have believed. And so this translation says yet. You could translate that Greek conjunction kai into yet. Okay? So we are blessed nowadays because we haven't touched Christ and we haven't seen Christ. We haven't seen him in that way. We have seen him according to Matthew chapter 13 and John chapter 9. He has given us spiritual perception. You know, you need 3 things in order to be a Christian. First of all, you need to be born again. That's what I was saying. You understand what I'm saying? You need no teacher, okay, the knowledge of faith, as sensus, okay, you need to agree to that knowledge, but you need fiducia. You need to trust or believe in the stuff that you know. This is Angelo Quinones giving glory to the God of, Israel. God is not the God of the dead, the negron of the mute, but of the living. And that means that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were very much alive at the time that Jesus said those words. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up. And please leave a comment on the screen. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to miss you during October, November, and probably even December, and probably even January. I don't know when I'm going to finish all that work, entitling the messages and thumbnailing the messages and tagging the messages. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? But it's been a treat. This is not the last message. I'm going to go all the way to, the end of September. And then I'm going to stop at the first day of October. I'm going to upload whatever I have on the phone in Ation's office. So you're going to be seeing things in October, but you're not going to be, seeing any new things. That's just some old stuff that I'm uploading in her office, But I want to thank you so much for being there and for being here in the future. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Bye. All right.